Stay hydrated, hoes. Hi guys, it's Sav. Welcome back to Book It. And today we're doing something a little bit different. We're going to talk about the 7 best things to do to get over plane anxiety. So these are going to be 7 tips that help if you have plane anxiety, if you don't like flying on planes, if you like flying, but there's always a little pit in your stomach that's like, ooh, I don't feel so good. These are going to help you get over it. So make sure you like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. Let me know which one's your favorite. So I will say I travel a lot. I feel like I am sitting in airports and planes like 90% of my life. It's a lot of fun. I love it. But when I started flying, I had terrible anxiety to the point where I did not want to get on planes. And to this day, there are some videos that I have referenced where I do not get on planes, where I will physically not get on it. I'll get a ticket and I will walk away. I did that when I was supposed to go to Sacramento. And I didn't get on that because I got too bad anxiety. So I went ahead and I wanted to come on and talk about some things that really help me, really help other people, and basically like try to give you a little bit of like an inside look on planes and stuff like that. So it says like, you know, the first one is to go to your doctor and get some medicine. So the very first, like, number one thing is try to get medicine for your anxiety. If you go to a doctor and you're like, I have to fly to Florida with my family, I have to go to New York with my sister, I'm having really bad anxiety over it, often they will give you a medication that you can take right before you get on the plane that'll help, you know, subdue those. It'll make you like feel a little bit better, and it'll help you with panic attacks overall. Unfortunately, not everyone can get those. I know for a fact when I went to my doctor, they would not give them to me, which is totally fine. Back in college, I needed them a lot. I thought that I would need them every time I went on spring break, because I just had to get on a plane and I did not like it. I only got medication like 2 times for it. Other than that, I was like, I can figure it out. I'll be fine. The second thing to do is to use visualization. Oh my gosh. So visualize something else that's going on. So when you're sitting in your seat, and you start to feel it coming on, because you always feel it coming on, start to think about anything else, start to look at something else. My tip is to always bring something with you, like always have a water in your hand or have something salty or sour, like candy wise, that you can buy in the airport before you get on the plane, where it's like, you know, you have something that's going to take your mind off of everything else. And then I want you to think about where you're going. Think about the beach, think about the city, think about the countryside, think about literally anything else, something that makes you happy. Because if you're trying to think about happy thoughts, hopefully the impending doom will not, you know, be there. The third thing is to, you know, practice relaxing techniques. Basically just try to relax. So I know for a fact when I fly, I always I hold a crystal in my hand, and I will rub it like this. Like I will have it in between my hand and I just do this. And it's very minute. Sometimes I'll have my phone and be listening to music, but it will always just be in like my left or my right hand, whichever hand I'm not using for something else. I'm always just doing that. It just relaxes me. I know that a lot of people take poppets and fidgets, like they take a lot of those things on the planes because they can just, you know, sit there and do that. And it gives you something else to do, to like move around other than just sitting there, like looking out the window, thinking about, you know, everything that's going on around you. Which also goes into the fourth one, which is find healthy distractions. If you're flying with a friend, maybe ask them to have like a conversation, like, you know, talk to them. If you don't want to talk to them, totally fine. I like to listen to podcasts. I like to listen to music. Before I get on a plane, I will like download like TV shows from Netflix and Hulu and Paramount, all those fun things, just so I have something that I can like physically watch. And if I'm not going to watch it, I can hear it. So like I'll put my phone down, I'll have my earbuds in, I will listen to them, and I'll just like, you know, play with my whatever I have. I also like to read on planes. I like to read happy books, not sad books or horror. The worst thing to do is to try to read a horror mystery novel while you're flying on a plane if you already have anxiety enough. So I would try to find like a romance novel. I know what books have I been known to read on planes? I read Red Queen on the plane. I've read a lot of autobiographies, believe it or not, like Jeanette McCurdy's autobiography. I read Hooked. I read the Neon God series. I read Punk 57, Birthday Girl. I did not read Credence on a Plane. Thank goodness. The Fine Print series, I read those. Breathless trilogy, like anything. A lot of the videos that I have on my channel for book reviews, a lot of those are good books to read when you're on a plane. Some of them I wouldn't, like some of the creepier ones are like, you know, horror. I don't think reading that would be good for you. But romance, fun, fantasy novels, ACOTAR. I'm currently reading ACOTAR and I have to get on a plane next week and I know I'm going to take the second or third book with me. Like, these are all good books to read. So, you know, circling back around, read a book. And then, so the fifth thing is to like, it says, I don't know how to like word this properly. Talk to people who fly a lot. So like 5 and 6 kind of go hand in hand. Number 6 is like find a support. Talk to people who fly a lot. Talk to any pilots you see or flight attendants or just travelers in general. Just talk to other people because they often have the most knowledge and everything. So I will say this, I did make a little list because after flying, I talked to a pilot because I was talking to him and we were discussing plane anxiety because he was showing me like the takeoff and the landing. He was showing me all that stuff and I thought it was really cool to see. But I asked him like, hey, how do you not get freaked out when you're like barreling towards the ground? And he was like, oh, well, let me explain. So he explained a lot of stuff to me, and here's what I've learned. Planes are made to take turbulence. They are designed to take them. So when you're flying and the turbulence hits and the whole plane like does like the whole this, that's when a lot of people's panic attacks will start happening. This is normal. It is made to take it. That's the whole reason planes were like a whole big outer part of the plane was made to take turbulence. So when they're like, oh, we're having some rough turbulence, please return to your seats. Don't panic. They just don't want you to be up and walking and fall over and get hurt. It's a liability for them. But planes are made to take turbulence. And that is something that has sat on my mind for so long, especially now when I fly and we're flying through a storm or something. And it's a time when I'm sitting by my window and I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh. And I'm terrified. And then I always remember the circle back of planes are made to do this. It's okay. They're made to do this. Another thing is captains and the first, it's not a first mate, the first assistant, first pilot, first officer, that's the name. Pilots and first officers are trained on so many different scenarios. They have to go through so much flying school, commercial flying schools, classes, training. They have to go through so much that it literally trains them. They know what they're doing. So sometimes you'll see like a third person that goes up and sits in the cockpit. Odds are that is either already a captain or they're training to become a captain or first officer, and they have to do so many hours of just flying that they're just there to sit and watch and, you know, watch the other people, watch how they talk on the overcom system, watch all that stuff. So they are trained on so many things. Same things with flight attendants. We do not give flight attendants the credit that they deserve. Those men and women are trained on so much stuff. I know during the very beginning when they're like, you know, buckle your seatbelt and like pull this, blow into the tube, like all that stuff. And people are like, oh yeah, whatever, ha ha ha. They are trained to know exactly what to do in any situation. If you don't believe me, just get on like flight attendant TikTok. Or talk to a flight attendant. My best friend's a flight attendant and her training sessions were crazy because they learned so much stuff and she's now trained on like everything. So that can always help a lot. Planes can function if an engine goes out. They can still function. They are okay. They will do an emergency landing, which sounds really scary, but it's okay. So if a bird flies into it, engine takes, it's totally okay. Now, here's the last thing that I really questioned about because this was something that sat on my mind and I asked the pilot about it or the first officer about it because I was super freaked out. I have always been petrified that a plane's gonna be flying like this and drop out of the sky. To which he responded, that is physically impossible for a plane to be flying and just fall down. If anything, they just glide down. And he said that's even perfect because they can land with a glide down. So any scenario you can think of, there's probably a way that they are trained on it. Now, a lot of the like a lot of plane anxiety stems from like turbulence or takeoffs or landings, crashes, being far from home, social anxiety, terrorism, that stuff. With that, I say there's always going to be a risk, but you have people who are specifically trained on what to do for these risks. So that's the best advice I can get. Seeking support, talking to other people, 5 and 6. Just really, if you have questions, ask them. Do not be afraid to ask questions, because they'll be honest with you and they'll tell you. Like, if you're going through turbulence on a plane and you're sitting there and you look at a flight attendant and the flight attendant's walking by, like, you know how they do, just super sweet, and you just ask, like, is everything okay with turbulence? They will tell you straight to your face, planes are made to take turbulence, everything is okay. And it's not just some line that they, like, rehearse. It's the truth, because that's how it is. Drink your water. And the last thing, the 7th thing to get over all of our plane anxiety is to think really realistically. You have to think of how many planes go out a day, how many accidents happen on planes. You have to think realistically. So this is really hard to do, especially when you're in that scenario, because when you're having a panic attack, you can't really think straight. And the best thing to do is to try to think about anything else other than what's going on in your situation. You're trying to think about not flying. You're trying to think about being at home, being with your loved ones, being wherever else in the world. But when you think realistically about what is going on, it will often help you a lot, because when you look around your plane and there's, a bunch of families and there's a bunch of other things, they're all there too. You guys are all in together. You're definitely not the only person on the plane having any sort of anxiety. It happens. It's okay. It's a very different thing. This is probably not the best advice, but I was told this once. I don't know how true it is, so do not hold it to me. I was told once that flying is safer than driving because there are more accidents on the road than there are in the air, which I 100% agree with that. There are accidents that happen every day when you go drive a car, but that also has a fear of driving. Like, there's a certain point where either you won't do it or you will. And I really hope everybody does. It's something that you have to get, like, you're gonna have to push through, and you might never be able to just get on a plane and fly left, right, left, right. I know I'm not one of them. I fly a lot. I'm in the air a lot. But at the same time, I get really bad anxiety to where I just don't want to do it. Like, I took the whole last month. After I got back from Louisiana and everything, I took the month off, just to work, save money, all that stuff. But I scheduled a trip for the end of July, and that's okay, because for the last couple weeks, I just wanted to be home. I didn't want to go anywhere. I didn't want to be in the air, because there is a certain anxiety that you get when you're flying, and that's totally normal. It's okay. Some people are, the fearless that jump on a plane and they're like, let's go. Yeah, no, I'm not the one to be jumping out of plane. Oh my gosh, planes. I'm not, anything like that. I think that it's very normal for everyone to have some sort of anxiety when you're flying, and it's a very common fear. So if you think, if you think that you need to go to a doctor and talk to them, yes. There are some things that you should not do. Not do. If you know you have anxiety getting on a plane, don't drink coffee or an energy drink. Don't do that. It elevates your heart rate. It just makes everything worse. I know it is 4 a.m. and you are getting on a 6:30 a.m. flight and you are tired and Starbucks just opened. Don't get it. Or if you do, get decaf. Because if you put caffeine in your body, that elevates your heart rate. And then when you get on a plane, your anxiety attack will be more. Your panic will become higher. You will be more like more panicked than that. So don't do that. I know it's amazing. And this is also one that a lot of people don't agree with. Don't drink on the plane. So I know a lot of people are like, oh, I have really bad anxiety on planes, so I just get like a double Jack and Coke. Don't drink on a plane, because if you're getting anxiety already, being sober, being drunk is not going to help it when you have a panic attack. So I always say avoid caffeine, booze. You're supposed to avoid like super, super high sugar. Like, don't be like eating 8 donuts for like all that stuff. But if you want to have like a chocolate bar here and there to like, take your mind off stuff, that's totally normal, totally fine. But yeah, that's it. If you're a nervous flyer, leave a comment down below because me too. If you have any ideas on how, other people should think, if I said something that you don't agree with, or if I didn't say something and you're like, oh no, I do this because it's so much better, let me know down below. Tell me what's going on, because this is all from my experience and what I do. So I need other people to tell me so that way we can all learn together. But yes, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this new kind of book it section. I'm going to be talking more about planes, airports, traveling, all that stuff, because this is book it. So we're not just about reading, we're about booking that ticket too. But yes, thank you so much. And please make sure you like and subscribe. It really does a lot more than you even think. It's just a button, and if you don't, you can always unsubscribe later. But yes, thank you so much, and until next time.